It just, I don't know what it is. Like I said, I don't know what you have to do, but you have to get me to want to be one in the losers club. And maybe that's just, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm not young, and maybe there are young people that love this. I'd love to hear what a young teenager person would see. I feel like it's like, and it's like, let's put them on the bikes again. It's like they have to show, let's show the bike scene again, because that nostalgia. I definitely felt like the film fell flat. You know, I mean, they're saying we're the losers, we're the losers, we're the losers, we're the losers. It's like, okay, you're the losers. Okay. We're the losers, 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 we're the losers. We're the losers, 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 we're the losers loser. The editing and the projection of supernatural surrealism was definitely shown in an incredible creative way. So this part was just awesome. I loved this, and should never go unnoticed. Should never go unnoticed. I mean, the scenes, even the scenes where there's moments where it's going from zooming in on the stars, and the stars become puzzle pieces. Really well done. The editing was extraordinarily, the first half of the editing, first act, the editing was great. But when the characters that have been laid in front of you don't pose any real assurance of their importance, or if the audience isn't somehow compelled to have empathy or sympathy for them, then all is lost. Everything is lost in the story. You have to make us care about them, and that's one of the biggest things that failed on this. Was I didn't feel the connection between the character, between it and them, and I also didn't really care about them as much. I don't know what it is. I could be completely wrong, but I just really didn't feel it. James McAvoy definitely was a good standout. I'm not sure if his stutter was something that came in later. It felt like his stutter came in like it came in the middle of the movie. Like he started stuttering later on, and I could have missed something. Something may have triggered the stutter. So, and he did what he could with the script that he would. The big problem with his character is that there was this constant buildup of like, oh, but you write bad you write bad endings, blah blah blah. You write bad endings, this and that. You're bad at writing endings, and it was constantly built up. And then the movie had kind of a meh. The ending of the movie wasn't great, so, which is pretty funny. So the main powers of Pennywise are shape-shifting, and he can manipulate people, and he goes unnoticed by adults. And so he's able to really evoke fear, and the fear, of course, tastes better, and that's what he likes. He likes it spiced with fear. I just realized that Bill Skarsgård played Pennywise. I don't know if you know who he is. Bill Skarsgård, I first noticed. I was first alerted to this guy on Hemlock Grove, which was actually a pretty damn good show. I actually really enjoyed that show. It was so weird and so unique and so interesting. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed Hemlock Grove. I didn't get to the very end. There was definitely some parts where it kind of fell flat towards like at the end of season 2, I think. Anyway, if you want to see him do something cooler, see Hemlock Grove if you haven't seen that. I was thoroughly impressed by that series. He was also the kid in Castle Rock, of course. The latest bad reboot, J.J. Abrams universe, infested Stephen King universe. The bad reboot infested Stephen King universe by the poisonous J.J. Abrams. I never thought I'd be saying this because I actually really liked J.J. back in back in the Alias days. I was binge watching Alias with my girlfriend and her roommate. So Beverly was a veteran to abusive relationships. It was rewarding to see her escape those problems and forge a new successful journey, pursuing happiness with someone she cares about. So that was great. Great to see her overcome those things. There's a 27 years separating these two components of a story here, and an extremely large percentage of what connects them are objects. So that's another thing that was very used pretty well, I thought. The using of the objects to tell stories. I enjoy that thoroughly when it's done well. Objects that create memories or allow the memories to be conjured, linking the stories. So that's something that I noticed as well, that I really love. There is a constant reoccurring trope that infests this movie, and that is the fact that Bill Denbrough, James McAvoy, is a writer, and it's slowly revealed that everyone hates his endings that he writes because they aren't happy, or just possibly that they aren't good. And the ending of this film was very kind of contrived. They kept chanting, "We are losers" at the end, and this was not earned. At least to me, it didn't feel like it was earned. In order for us to be really invested in this, there simply must build to that. You have to make us want to be losers. You got to make me want to be in the Losers Club. And I don't know what that is, but I didn't want to be. And I don't know what that is, what you have to do to make me want to be there. But you have to make me want to be in the Losers Club. You have to have something that's, I don't know. Apparently the director of this film, Andy Muschietti, is also rumored to be directing the Flash movie. So in case anyone is curious about that, that's interesting to me. Stephen King loves the background and backstories of the Native American psychedelic rituals and the tampering of interdimensional travelers and spirits that can find their ways and their connections to the story. Somehow they helped or were observing the deadlights growing, metastasizing virus that was present there. So that was kind of an interesting part of it. It didn't play that large of a role, but I do, I find it interesting that that's something that Stephen King, puts it in a lot of, or at least he tended to put that in a lot of his films. I mean, I loved Pet Sematary. Of course, that's all about Indian burial grounds and stuff. So very interesting stuff there. I'm fascinated by it too. Something that interests me as well. Beverly had seen them all die. All living things must abide by the rules of the shape they inhabit. So maybe they were breaking those rules in order for the ritual to work, to force Pennywise to show his true self. As the deadlights, they must remember certain things. This film is about the ever-widening gap that forces all the main characters to struggle, escaping their own fears because they will taste better when doused with it. It is about the awakening of memories and using them to fight fear. Character modification and establishment by outlining the odd quirks and memorable mannerisms, making them instantly recognizable and memorable themselves. This is what creates investment. So what creates investment? Character modification and establishment by outlining the odd quirks and memorable mannerisms, especially with what Bill Hader was and what he did, making them instantly recognizable and memorable themselves. This is what creates investment. Bill Hader's character, Richie Tozier, is by far the best character in the story. He seems to steal the show and really commands everyone's attention, even when he isn't commanding it. Jessica Chastain, Beverly Marsh, is the second best character because we see her overcome adversity several times with real-world obstacles, and then the deadlights. Yeah, just a damn shame that this part had been ruined. When Jessica Chastain goes to see the old woman, the scene was pretty stellar scene. The woman is really on point, creating suspense and intrigue out of nothing, out of thin air. And it was all ruined because this scene was released before the film came out. I wasn't scared at all in the theater when this scene was revealed because they had already seen it. So, I mean, I get it. They have to hype it up. They have to hype it up and, get people going. But I think that scene would have made so much more of an impact. That's something that it's like they knew that Stranger Things was popular because of the bikes. Like the bikes. Yeah, we got to put them on bikes. and I think it's actually good to try to get young people to get into bikes again. But I guess it's just too dangerous to be on bikes now these days, which is awfully horrible, and it makes me grateful that I grew up when I did, so that I could ride on bike and it would be okay. But anyway, it's just sad. That's a sad thing. What did you guys think? Did you enjoy it? Are you just enthralled by this? Do you love it? Do you think it's like the best, horror movie ever? I think it's just okay. But then again, like, I don't know. I enjoy Stephen King's stories. I think he's a great storyteller. I think he's an awesome storyteller. One of my favorite books was Tommyknockers. That was a great book that I read that one years and years ago. I need to reread it, but this is the Fanatics of Film, and my name is Ben. Thank you so much for joining me here today or this evening, whatever it is with you. I appreciate you listening to this, to me rant a little bit, and hopefully you had fun. Hopefully we can do this again sometime, and hopefully you will give this video a like and, subscribe, share, help me out, because I need your help. That's just what I need. We're going to make movies on this channel. We're going to make films, like actual Star Wars movies and all kinds of other stuff. So that's my goal. So if you'll help us get there, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and have a splendid day.